Greetings, YouTube. As I've mentioned in the past, I have a history with the military. Not a personal history, but a family history. My father served in Korea, and he's a disabled American veteran. His father served in the Pacific Theater. He's in the Navy, troop carrier. On my mother's side, she has a sister that married a naval diver, and all three of their children went on to serve in the military, Army, Navy, and Air Force. My mother's uncle was a pilot in the Pacific Theater during World War II and died in combat, had a ship named after him. My grandmother christened it. So there's a long-standing family history with the military. And while Americans seem to be really pro-soldier when they're out there with rifles in their hands and their fingers on the buttons in planes and manning the decks of ships, when they come home, we just forget them. We don't budget for their support, of course. That would be depressing, I guess. I've advocated for a while now that if you're going to send people to war, you should budget for their support in the initial payments for the war itself. And if you can't afford to do that, then you don't send them to war. That's a radical concept, I know. How dare you actually look forward to the concept that you may actually have to cover the care and well-being of the people you send into the meat grinder that is war. People don't like to think about that. They just like the victories and the flag waving and the speeches. They don't like the PTSD and the traumatic brain injuries, depression, the chemical addictions, the broken marriages, the deaths after combat ends. And I still see lots of things around me on a daily basis that say, support our troops. I see it on banners on stores, I see it on bumper stickers, the little ribbons. And every time I see that phrase, I am still confused what the people that post those phrases mean by it. Because they don't seem to be voting for people that support the troops at home, the veterans. They seem to be voting for people that like to send people to war. And I gotta tell you, sending people to war doesn't really seem like a way you support the troops. You support the troops by not sending them to war. You support the troops by making the military as small as possible to defend the nation and not an extension of our imperial interests. You support our troops by making sure that they're defending the people and the Constitution and they're not a branch of corporate America getting resources for them for their future use. I'm going to be linking to an article today. It's a really tough read. Really tough. It's about Daniel Wolf. In fact, Daniel Wolf killed himself live on Facebook. And that is not a bit of hyperbole. That's what he did. But there's a chart at the end. If you can't read the article, and I understand if you can't, if you have an issue with suicide and suicidal thoughts and self-harm, you're not going to be able to read that article. But there's a chart at the bottom, and jump to that. Because the chart shows that for every death in combat, we have 22 suicides here at home among veterans per day. Per day. 22. So, where's the support? And I hate to address it, but I'm going to have to, because there were those who are going to comment about it, and there are those who are going to comment about it or are going to ignore what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyway to cover myself. I am aware that more men kill themselves than women. But female veterans, women veterans, kill themselves at a rate 6 times more often than non-veteran women. And the reality is that while more men kill themselves, 4 times as many women attempt suicide. The reason that more men kill themselves is because the types of methods that men use to kill themselves. Methods that are faster, more assured. Women using more feminine styles of suicide that can be recovered from more easily. So while more men succeed, 4 times as many women attempt. So please don't give me any misogynistic crap in this thread. That's a vain hope, but I'm going to throw it out there. But I want to know, I want someone to explain to me how the vast majority of Americans can wave those flags and slap those little yellow ribbons on their car and put posts on their business signs that say support our troops. Put up their bunting every year on their porches. And then stand idly by while our veterans kill themselves in droves. A score of veterans a day. How is that supporting our troops? How about we stop sending them to war? How about we make sure they get the kind of support they need when they enlist, while they're active duty, and when they come home? We make sure that they're psychologically well balanced when they enter the military, that they have the psychological support they need while they're in a combat zone, and they have the psychological support they need when they come home. We need to change the nature of military culture so that it's acceptable for soldiers to cry, to be afraid, to ask for help, and to get it. That's what we need. Supporting the troops is hard and ugly. It's facing things that people don't want to. They'd rather just wear those little flags and put those little ribbons on their cars. That's so easy. But it's not easy for the troops now, is it? The veterans aren't getting what they need. I wonder if the military has the decency to at least bury